Hey guys, Aaron here. I'm back with another review today. Today I'm going to be talking about The Loft. It's a movie that was released back in 2015, January 30th of that year, directed by Aaron Von Looy, Looy. So I think it's Loy. I don't really know. But anyway, so it stars Carl Urban, James Marsden, Wentworth Miller, Eric Stonestreet, Matthias Schoenaerts. Once again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that one right. I'm sorry. Isabel Lucas, Rachel Taylor, Robert Wisdom, and Rona Mitra. So this movie, I didn't know this till I started doing, till I looked up the cast and whatnot. But it is actually a remake of a 2008 Dutch language film, and Matthias Schoenaerts, once again, sorry if I got that wrong, is reprising his role in the film. So I thought that was pretty cool to note, and I'm assuming he must have liked it, if he was reprising the exact same role. Well, I'll go right out and say it. This film is a guilty pleasure of mine. So, we'll take that as you may. I may be a little bit biased on it, but I don't think I'll be that too bad. But I might just be overly fair. I don't know. Anyway, so the plot's pretty simple. Basically, these five guys, they have Carl Urban has rented a loft for them inside the city limits. I'm sorry, outside away from their houses, and he gives them all a key, and it's kind of, they're basically like it's like a little bachelor pad. Come and do what you please, no one has to know, don't tell anything. And he basically says, keep the key, even if you don't use it, just keep it, that way. And they're the only five that know about it. So after I suspect a short period of time, one of them comes into the loft to find a dead woman there who looks like she has overdosed or died, was something, suicide maybe, because there's pills all over the floor. So he calls, that's Wentworth Miller, so he calls the rest of the guys in, and of course the hunt's on to find out who it was. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, this is in the past, because in the present of the movie, at least, all the guys are being interrogated by the police, led by Robert Wisdom as the police captain. Robert Wisdom, fun fact here, was in season 3 of Prison Break, where Wentworth Miller got his big, recognition and fame. Thought that was pretty cool to notice, or no, just it is what it is. Any Prison Break fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's, like I said, that's pretty simple. The plot, it's a pretty easy movie to follow for the most part. I get confused by films like this very easily, but I was able to figure it out. So and I stick with it. So I figure you guys can too if you decide to watch it. So that's one good thing about it. Overall, the acting is it's pretty good. I didn't know if I wanted to say pretty good or just doable. Just serviceable. Maybe it's just serviceable. Yeah. So it's there's nothing. That's the thing I will say about this. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's nothing that really jumps out and grabs you and is like, oh man, that's the movie. I remember the trailer. Actually, I was pretty hyped when I first saw the trailer, and I think a lot of people were, from what I remember, at least the people that I was talking to at the time. But I don't remember it getting that much recognition and/or TV spots. It was just like I'd see a preview, now and again. But I think that's kind of how it was reception wise. I don't think it was met with very good reviews. I think it was kind of, it is what it is. But with these kind of films, sometimes either hit and miss. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're very questionable in their choices and different things like that, especially if the acting's not right or whatever. But like I said, I think everyone does a pretty serviceable job. I think that they were smart in keeping it. It's only about an hour and a half long, and I think that was smart of them. That way it's not convoluted with a bunch of nonsense that we didn't need to know anyway. So there's that. Everything looks fine on it. The production seems fine. The lighting's all good. Things like that. Any special effects that were used, or I'm sorry, practical effects that were used, they all look fine. Everything's believable in it. So that is one good thing about it. It doesn't look like a very cheap movie or anything. So that's nice. Really, it's a pretty simple film. Like I said, it's just kind of from beginning to end. Try to figure out what's going on, why there's this dead girl in our loft, who did it, and then there's a little bit of flashbacks talking. Well, you know what I mean. Flashbacks being in the present, talking about the murder in the loft. The reveal is, I don't think it. I don't remember. I just recently watched this again. The first time I don't remember how I felt about it, but this time it wasn't necessarily that I saw it coming, but when it was revealed what happened, I wasn't surprised really. It's not that I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense," but I was just very like, okay, that's it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, it's not everyone can, that's one thing I did like about it, because I don't know if this film necessarily counts considering it's in 2014, but especially after The Sixth Sense and Signs, everyone tried to do like these Shyamalan twists, and a lot of them just bit the dust and they were terrible. So that's one good thing about it. I don't think it tried to be anything that it wasn't. It was what it was. And I think that the director was smart in that, and the writers were smart, because I don't think it tries to be anything it's not. Like I said, um, but yeah, pretty simple film. Like I said, nothing really jumps out at you. It's just a good watch. I guess maybe that's why I have a soft spot for it, because it does draw me in. Not anything insane, but like when it was on, I remember I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh yeah, this movie, and I just recorded it because, like I said, there's just something there. You might not think so, I just do. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's, like I said, there's not a whole lot to talk about. There wasn't a whole lot of substance in it, but you know, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. You know, I don't really usually even use that word, because I like what I like, but it's a guilty pleasure, I guess. But overall, I give it a 4 out of 10, because like I said, nothing, there's nothing there that's 8 stars worthy. So anyway, well guys, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you like me, and I hope to see you again in the next one. All right, take it easy.